A question people have been asking forever. Should you warm up before you play solo queue? And if so, what type of warm up should you do? In this video, I'm going to give you my exact warm up before I go into every single solo queue block to help you be the most prepared you can and crush games from the very beginning. Of course, every warm-up should be catered to the individual, so feel free to adapt and change this warm-up however you see fit to make sure that you are ready personally. This is just my interpretation of how I like to warm up and my reasoning for doing so. Hey, just wanted to quickly interrupt this video to say I will be hosting a live coaching session stream on June 22nd at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. Central European Time, where I'll be giving away from some free live coaching sessions on stream to followers. It'll be like kind of a lottery system. It's going to be a lot of fun, so if you're interested, you can follow my Twitch down in the link in the description. I stream every single Saturday after my uploads. So if you're interested, you go ahead and follow, and I'd love to see you there. Now back to the video. All right. So the first and most consistent thing on my warm-up is loldodgegame. Shout out to Coach Curtis for popularizing this initially, especially the exact method. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to hop onto loldodgegame.com. You're going to hit play. You're going to hit skill shot and then go to skill plus dodge. And then you'll go into hard mode and click play. Now, the only thing past this is you're not allowed to use any abilities except for Q. So it's only movement and skill shots. Now, loldodgegame should help you a ton with your micro if that's an issue for you. I recommend it to a lot of people in the lower elos because it'll really help them get to good clicking speed, better character control, better mouse accuracy. So if micro is any issue for you, I would really recommend you get into this. And there's a couple different ways you can decide how long you want to go. So personally, what I do is I tell myself that I need to hit 3 scores of 5,000 plus to be able to go into my block. Now, obviously, if you're not used to playing it or your micro isn't as good, then that's not really a realistic goal to set. So instead, what you can do is play for a specified time or maybe play to get a certain score once you feel comfortable enough. Usually it takes me between 5 and 10 minutes, and that feels pretty good for me. So I would recommend if you're going to go time-based, do the exact same thing. Aim for that 5 to 10 minute range and just kind of have a good time. I personally like to put on whatever music I'm vibing to that day. Just take the time to get into the zone and warm up the fingers. Now, after that, there is one more thing that I sometimes like to do, and that is open up a practice tool. Now, this is very specific only if I feel like there's something that I want to do in the practice tool. So for example, being a Talia player, sometimes I feel like my flicks are not landing. So what I'll do is I'll open up a practice tool and I'll just go in and do like 50 flicks in a row. Just WE, WE, WE over and over again, and make sure I can land it every single time. That way I just feel comfortable. At least I also have a moment in the actual game, so I'm not surprised or feel off when I'm going into the solo queue game. So if you have champions like that, you know, maybe it's Victor E or Rumble ults or whatever it is that you feel like you want to practice and make sure you have down, go ahead, hop in a practice tool and just spam the combo. And that's really about it for what I do very consistently before every single game. Now, there's a couple things I want to address. First off is why don't I play a full game either of a normal game or on a Smurf account? I don't really recommend this method, especially a normal game, because a normal game is so far disconnected from what your ranked experience is going to be that playing a normal game is not really going to warm you up to be able to play ranked. Now, if this is only a legitimate, you want to get the hands moving and playing like you're playing League of Legends, that's okay. But I don't understand why you wouldn't just do loldodgegame, go into practice tool and do the same thing. Because in my mind, playing a normal game, it throws you off the vibe of League. Like when I load onto Summoner's Rift, I want there to be no question that I am fully focused in, ready to go, giving it my all. And if I play a full normal game, that's not my mindset. Like I'm going to be like sloppy. I'm not going to be thinking that much. And if I lose that normal game, like it probably doesn't matter that much. I probably don't care, but I don't want to risk like having random tilt or random things happen. I feel like random game modes do the same thing where they don't really get me in the zone to play solo queue. They don't get me in the zone to play Summoner's Rift and be ready to go. Like those game modes remind me of like having fun, having a good time, relaxing with friends. And this is exactly why I don't like to deviate from my very set and standard warm-up. Because in a way, I've kind of made this warm-up so that I act like Pavlov's dogs, where every time I do the warm-up, that means it's a signal that I need to get ready to perform in ranked. So I don't want to throw in anything else random that does the opposite. Everything should be putting me towards getting focused, getting in the zone. Now, there's one more option that I think is fairly good, not necessarily for warming up your hands, but for warming up the mind. And this is reviewing your games beforehand or watching other people play. So I think reviewing your games beforehand is actually really quite good to get into the mental space of League. You'll know what kind of mistakes you're making. You'll know how the game was feeling You'll know what you want to focus on and work on. And I think it's overall a really good idea if it clicks with you. The one thing I don't like about this is I don't like watching losses back. Like, I would much rather watch somebody win a League of Legends game and pop off and kind of like envelop that energy rather than watching myself lose, especially if I'm low confidence. Like, it is not going to be helping at all. So a bit of a double-edged sword there. I would say experiment with it, see how it feels. And the other option you have is, like I said, watch other people play. So I really like this option because, you know, being a Taliyah one trick, I can just pull up an Odysseus stream and watch him play and see like how he's moving, gets me in the right mindset, gets me thinking about the game in the same way, but it's not very tied to my like own experiences. I think it's a great way to stay focused while you're in the queue as well, because it's really easy to, you know, pull up YouTube, pull up another tab, scroll through social media. All these things are just taking you away from the zone that you're trying to get into. We are trying to achieve that flow state, and there's a lot of other things that can take you out of it real quick. So I think it's a great way to stay focused, get into the zone, and not let other things distract you. So that's about it for all of my warm-up. Law dodge game, practice tool as needed, watching other people play, and that's it. Hopefully you guys can use this video and adapt this warm-up to fit your own needs and your own routine so you can really get into the zone before you get into your games. And I'd love to know what kind of things you guys personally do for your warm-ups. We all want to be efficient and effective with our time, and that's why warming up is so important, because we don't want to load into that first game and not be confident in our ability or end up losing a game just because our early game is scuffed because our hands were cold. So if you don't already, give warming up a try. And if you do a warm up, think about how you can change things around to make it even better or add something else for some variation. Warm ups definitely can get stale, so doing something else for a while can definitely help. That's all for now, so I'll catch you in the next one.